Kakaiba. Okay, all right. So, let's start kasi late na tayo masyado. Okay, so ito yung mga lumabas, okay? Siguro dalawa lang yung dinagdag ko na hindi lumabas. Okay, ito yung lumabas noong March 2026. Okay, so ito yung ating um, DOS. All right. So, itong PDF na to, yung PDF na to, I share it sa mga naka-enroll sa akin. Okay, yan. Kaya marami siyang ek-ek. Okay? All right, so let's start with number one. So, in discussions about electoral reforms in the Philippines, which measure is commonly proposed to regulate or limit political dynasties? Okay, A, increasing the number of political parties. B, constitutional amendments to prohibit or regulate political dynasties. C, extending the terms of elected officials. Or D, reducing the number of voters in elections. Okay. Louisian pala kayo? Yes po. Yes. Yung bachelor's ko po is sa St. Louis. Yan. Pero yung I took my unit sa UP Open U. Okay. All right. So what is your answer? Ayan. Good. Dalawa pa lang yung sumasagot. Tatlo. Okay. Good job kayo dyan. Lima nga pala tayo dito. Okay. Mamaya pa yan yung mga papasok. Alright? Marami sa inyo magiging team replay. Okay, so of course, the answer there is letter B. Blurred ba? Lapit natin. Yan. Yan. Yung mga naka-enroll sa akin, okay, mag-alala. Ngayon lang natin i-free, okay? Kaya medyo, tapos gusto, alam niyo, si Ma'am Aram, alam niya, na mas gusto ko talaga sa TikTok kung pwede lang. Naghahanap ako ng way. Kasi hindi siya lag. Kasi pag FB tayo, tsaka YT, sobrang lag. So, naghanap pa ako ng other ways. Okay? Okay na ba? Blurred pa ba? O hindi na? Kindly feedback. Blurred pa rin po ba? Oh, okay, all right, all right. Okay, so nabasa ko, alam niyo yung sa political dynasties na sa Article 2, okay? Yan, and nabanggit na rin sa Senate hearing. Yan, so meron naman tayong nakalagay sa ating constitution about political dynasties. Kaya nga lang, hanggang dun lang. Ang sabi lang niya, the state shall guarantee equal access to opportunities for public service and prohibit political dynasties as may defined by law. Hanggang dun lang talaga tayo. Okay, wala pa tayong mga ah, laws about na nagde-define ng ano dapat yung sakop ng political dynasties. Okay, yan naman yung naaral ko sa ating mga Senate hearing. Okay, yan. So ito, pero okay, meron naman tayong mga mga bills, okay, na ipinasa, okay, na ipasa pero hindi pa siya na-enact, okay, or ratified. So what is a consolidated House bill on the prohibition of political dynasties, okay? So House Bill 6771 ba yan or House Bill 6671? Okay, so red ba yan or blue? Okay, so ibig sabihin pag House Bill, galing yan sa House of Representatives. Pag Senate bill, galing yan sa Senate. Okay, ganyan. Na ginawa nila pero hindi pa siya na-ratified, okay, ng ating president. Okay, so red ba yan or blue? So again, what is the consolidated House bill on the prohibition of political dynasties? Okay, red ba yan na House Bill 6771 or House Bill 6671? Okay, so ang sagot ay red. Humula lang kayo, it's okay. Alright? Kung mali, it's okay. At least we tried. Oh, char. Okay, at least we tried. Okay, so the answer here is it's blue. Okay, yan. So House Bill 6671. Okay, red try, sabi ni Ma'am Aram. Yes. All right. So what is the House Bill number 6671? Okay, so it is proposed by Faustino Bojidi III and Congressman Sandro Marcos. Okay. So yung original po, ang nakalagay doon is hanggang fourth degree. Okay? Pero yung na-revise, limited to second degree na lang. Okay, yan. Pero may mga criticisms kasi kung babasahin niyo yung House Bill, okay, hindi naman niya napaka-limited. Okay? For example, ang sabi lang niya is okay lang na may may mga political dynasties as well as long as iba-iba yung localities. Okay? So for example, sa Baguio yung isa. Okay yan. Sa Baguio yung isa, halimbawa sa city, okay, or sa municipality, ganun, or sa Baguio nga pala yung sinabi ko. City, okay? Pero syempre, pag nag-congressman na yan, Benguet na yon, so hindi siya sakop. Okay? So ganun pa rin, okay? And then another is, hindi niya, ang sinasabi lang nung House Bill is, hanggang sa lang, sa simultaneous occupation lang ng position. Okay, yan. Hindi niya binanggit against succession. So pwede pa rin, 'di ba, na mayor ka tapos sumunod yung anak mo, sumunod yung apo mo. Okay, so yun yung kanyang criticism. All right, number two, when Barack Obama was elected and re-elected as President of the United States, some commentators suggested that it challenged a long-standing social attitude in American society. Which of the following attitudes was being referred to? Okay, A, economic nationalism ba yan? B, racial prejudice? C, religious intolerance? Or B, political isolationism? Okay, lagay natin yung number, guys. Please put the number. Yan. Okay. Pasensya na kung lagi akong magalaw kasi nare-restrict tayo pag hindi niya na masyado nakikita na gumagalaw. Okay, yan. All right, of course. Yes, the answer there is racial prejudice. Okay, pero ang nakalagay daw sa option sa actualet is uh, racism. Okay, racism. Okay, so of course it's the same. All right, so let's define lang yung iba. Okay, economic nationalism. Alam naman natin yung nationalism. Okay, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng nationalism? How do you call that? You prioritize your own country. Okay, so economic. Okay, so i-prioritize mo yung economy ng own country mo. That is economic nationalism. Of course, religious intolerance. Ito, lumalabas actually yung mga terms na to. Okay, yan. So that is why it's very important to define them. Okay, yan. So religious intolerance, of course, intolerance, okay, hindi mo tinotolerate ang ibang religion. Okay, yan. And political isolationism, lagi ding lumalabas sa ating majorship yan. Okay, yan. Yung parang ayaw mong mangialam. Okay, ayaw mong mangialam sa mga affairs sa bansa like US nung World War I and World War II. Okay, they were trying to adhere dun sa isolationism nila. Okay? Ito pa ba yung recent board questions sa major? Yes, I think kasi 40 points tayo. Siguro dalawa lang yung dinagdag ko na hindi actual question and concept. All right? Number three. In discussing international law and sovereignty, which statement best explains the debate about the arrest of Nicolas Maduro by the administration of Donald Trump? Okay, so by the way, si Nicolas Maduro siya yung sa Venezuela. Okay, so A, it is justified because any country can arrest a foreign leader anywhere in the world. B, it is controversial because arresting a foreign leader in another country may violate international law and state sovereignty. C, it is legal because Venezuela is a territory of the United States. And D, it is required by international law whenever suspects a country suspects drug trafficking. Okay, yan. All right, so social science po, atong majorship na to. Okay, so what is your answer? It's letter B. Okay, all right. So of course, yes. So the answer is indeed letter B. Okay, so may kwento lang, 'di ba? May kwento lang siya na ginamit pa yung mga Venezuela, ganyan-ganyan. Pero alam naman natin, okay? We know the concept of sovereignty. Inulit-ulit natin 'yan sa ating majorship, 'di ba? Now, what is sovereignty? Okay, you manage your own country without intervention ng outside or outside intervention. Okay, yan. But in fact, yes, nahanap ko, okay, nasa international law talaga, okay? Charter of the United Nations, Article 2, okay, yan. So, all members shall refrain in their international relations from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yan. Okay, so bawal talaga yung ginawa ni President Trump of America. Yan. So in fact may mga nakita akong mga articles na criticize siya. Okay, and linabas itong international law na to. Okay, bakit po Bakit nga po dinakip si Maduro? Okay, so ang sinasabi baka 40 points na tayo ngayon, ma'am. Yan, para okay? Yan, damihan na lang natin ng ating sessions. Kesa yung mag 50 points tayo dati, di ba? Parang 3 hours, 4 hours tayo. Dinakip siya sa ano, sa drug trafficking. Okay, yan. Yun ang Irina rason, okay, ng US. Okay, drug trafficking. Number 4, deliberate deception by way of blank fallacy is used by advertiser who make claim to unfounded consumption by thousands or millions of a product. Okay, A, bandwagon, B, big lies, C, circular thinking, and D, red herring. Okay, so if malala mo, Ma'am Aram, sa ating huling pabaon, 'di ba, nung March. Yan, sabi ko, ay, di ko sana idagdag to, pero dinagdag ko na lang, baka lumabas, 'di ba? Tapos lumabas siya. Hindi ko kasi, yung may mga iniisip kasi ako na parang, ay, napaka-easy, hindi, alam na nila to. Yung parang ganun ba? Yes. So, may mga nabasa ako sa mga different pages na hindi pa nila alam yung ganito. Okay? So, it is always worth it, okay? Not to disregard any question. Okay. So, of course, yes, the answer there is bandwagon. Okay, yan. Alright. So, ito yung mga fallacies. Mabilis lang tayo. Okay? So, bandwagon, of course, dahil sinasabi ng marami, okay, is ano, naniniwala ka na, okay? Or you will do it kasi yun ang gusto, ang nakikita mo na, ay, yan ang ina-assert, okay, nung nag-advertise or nung nagsasabi, okay? Nabasa ko, yung share a Coke, yan, yung, dito ba sa Pilipinas, parang hindi uso yun, yung may pangalan yung Coke, pero nung sa Taiwan, pumunta ako, nagulat ako may pangalan yung Coke, okay? For example, andun yung pangalan mo, yung mga ganon, kaya iba't ibang pangalan, they use mga common names. Yan. So that is an example of bandwagon. Okay, yan. Alright, big lie, of course. Okay, so bandwagon, okay, ang nagpauso ng concept na yun is si Solomon Ash. Okay, yan. And dito. Now, makukuha nyo naman yung PDF nito, okay? And I make this, okay, para sa mga visual, okay, or yung mga gusto nyong magbasa pa, okay, yan. Alright, big lie naman, okay, so ang nagpauso ng big lie ay si Adolf Hitler, ayon, sa kanyang main camp, okay, yan. So, sabi niya, gumagawa ka ng lie, okay, paulit-ulit, okay, para mapaniwala yung mga tao. Okay? And then it says there sa big lie na fallacy, the bigger the lie, the better. Okay? Kasi mas maniniwala daw ang mga tao kung napaka-big yung lie mo. Kasi hindi nila iisipin na you can lie that much. Okay, yan. So, circular thinking, alam niyo, circular yan, paulit-ulit lang, okay? So, for example, ang nakalagay dyan, it is true because I said it's true. Okay, yan. So, wala talaga siyang magandang ano ba yung tawag dun sa statement na yon? Yan. Yung, ay no, I forgot that term, okay? Wala siyang magandang, oh my God. Okay, I'll tell you about that later. Okay, so and anyway, ang nagpa-start sa circular thinking is si Aristotle. Okay, yan. Hindi naman siya yung nag-coin nung word na circular thinking, okay? Pero siya yung unang nag-identify, okay, sa fallacy na to na circular thinking. Okay? Pwede po makita ulit yung number 4. Which one? Alright, eto. Yan. Bakit mamaram? Alright. Ay, ayan. Okay, nakita mo. Anyway, guys, ipapost ko naman po to eh. Ipapost ko po, ipapost ko sa ating YT. Okay, so mag-ano po kayo doon. Mag-ano kayo doon? How do you call that? Mag-subscribe kayo doon. Alright, okay. And red herring, okay. So, red herring is, ano, you're putting something, okay, na different meaning, okay, doon sa, how do you call that? Sa argument ng isang tao, okay? So for example, sabi nung mayor, oh okay, so mayor sa Baguio halimbawa, okay? Sabi niya, "Oh, okay, ayusin natin yung traffic, okay? So ang sinasabi niya is ayusin yung traffic. Tapos yung halimbawa, sabi nung isa, "Oh, ayusin mo lang yung traffic kasi gusto mo madaming pupunta dito na na tourist, yung mga ganon, okay? So, iniiba mo, okay, yung statement talaga, okay? Or binibigyan mo ng ibang meaning, okay? And it is coined by William Cobbett, okay, yan. So, yung red herring, it's a fish, okay? So, galing daw yan dun sa red herring is a fish, parang ginagamit yung foul smell nung red herring, okay, para mapunta yung mga hound, okay, is mapunta doon yung attention nila, okay? And then para makatakbo yung mga rabbits, okay? Yun yung etymology nung red herring. Okay, next, number 5. When a person's income increases, he begins to purchase more of a particular good. In economics, what type of good is this called? A, inferior good, B, normal good, C, luxury good, and D, given good. Okay, so number 5, when a person's income increases, he begins to purchase more of a particular good. In economics, what type of good is this called? A, inferior good, B, normal good, C, luxury good, and D, given good. Of course, and yes, the answer there is normal good. Okay, so let's see kung ano yung mga different goods na to. Okay, yan. So normal good yan. So lagi niyong isipin pag nag-increase yung income, okay? Doon ka na sa normal good ka na magre-resort. Okay? But then we have to understand yung normal good is relative. Okay? If poverty is relative, yung normal good din sa atin is relative. Okay? So for example, halimbawa kung middle income class naman ako, compare mo naman dun sa high income class. Okay, so kung ano yung normal good sa mga high income, iba din yung normal good sa akin. Okay, it depends kung ano yung ma-afford ko. Okay, yan. So for example, ang ang normal good ko ngayon, for example, is ano ba? Okay, maybe bacon. Okay, yan. So, ma-afford ko yung bacon. Okay, pag nagtaas yung sahod ko, halimbawa, ma-afford ko yung bacon. Alright, kanyan. Okay, pero baka sa mayayaman, okay, bacon is inferior good. Okay, right. Okay, so yun nga, sabi natin, yung inferior good, yun yung kaya mo nang iwasan pag tumaas yung sahod mo. Okay, yan. Kasi nga, you see it as inferior. Okay, so for example, nakalagay dito is instant noodles. Okay, so ayaw mo nang mag-instant noodles. Okay, maybe mag-samgyup ka na. Okay, ganon. Mag-normal good ka na samgyup. Okay, luxury good. Okay, of course, tingnan nyo, nakalagay doon is it's a type of normal good. Okay, kasi nga po, relative po. Yung mga goods na to, it's relative to your income. Yan. Okay, alam na natin, expensive cars, designer bags, yan. And given good. Okay, laging lumalabas din po yung given good na term na to. Okay, so it is a rare inferior good. So it doesn't matter kung bumaba man o umakyat yung sahod mo. Kailangan mo pa rin yun kasi yun yung mga basic. Okay, for example, ano ba yun? Yung mga staple food, yan, salt, yung mga ganyan, oil, yan. Ganyan. Parang dadamihan mo na ganun since malaki na salary mo. Normal good. Yes. Yes. Yes po. Parang yun na yung ano mo, yun na yung preference mo, 'di ba? Kasi nga lumalaki na yung sahod mo 'di ba? Yan. So that is your normal good. Okay. Number 6, which form of government is characterized by the absence of a king or monarch? Okay, so A, oligarchy, B, aristocracy, C, republic, and D, monarchy. Okay, so ito naman, feeling ko na sa bagay may mga nagkamali pa rin dito, okay? Kasi nga nakakapagod talaga sa exam, okay? So which form of government is characterized by the absence of a king or monarch? A, oligarchy, B, aristocracy, C, republic, and D, monarchy, okay? And I'm very proud of you guys, okay? So you got it right, okay? This is a republic, okay? Yan. So ito, so ulitin natin, ano nga ba yung oligarchy? Okay, oligos means few, okay? Paulit-ulit to sa ating hindi talaga nawawala to, okay, sa ating social science majorship, okay? So, oligos means few and arcane means to rule, okay? Yan. So, rule of the few, okay? So, hindi man nakalagay doon, okay, na merong monarchy or merong king, okay? But it could happen, okay, na yung oligarchy na yon galing doon sa, galing doon sa, how do you call that? Galing sa mga noble family, okay? And that is why pasok pa rin yung oligarchy doon, right? Aristocracy, okay, ruled by the best or noble class. Andyan na yan. So, the noble class may come from the monarchs, okay? Mga right? Mga kings, okay, yan. Okay, and of course, monarchy, napaka-obvious na yan. Okay, yan. So, may dalawang klase ng monarchy, yung absolute, okay? Yung absolute monarchy, siya lang yung nasusunod, okay? Yung iisa lang, okay? Yan. And then yung constitutional, lumalabas din po to ha, yung constitutional monarchy, okay? Ibig sabihin, parang may, how do you call that? May sinusunod na batas, okay? And then yung parang mga monarchs, they are um symbolic, okay? They hold symbolic na lang. Yan. Yes, absolute and constitutional. Okay, very good. And of course, the answer there, as I have said, is republic. Okay, and ano yung, saan galing yung word na republic? Okay, it's a Latin. Okay, means res publica. Okay, it's a public thing. Okay, yan. And of course, the leaders are elected by the people. Okay, yan. May constitution kumbaga, 'di ba, ma'am? Yes, okay, yes. May sinusunod na constitution, okay? Hindi na yung kung ano yung sinabi niya, yun yon. Okay, like yeah, 'di ba? Kagaya ni na ano, ni na Queen Elizabeth, 'di ba? Yan. So constitutional po sila. Okay, thank you for liking the live. All right, number 7. During the Japanese occupation of the Philippines, may nagtatanong sa ating team Kalipula, kung may lalagay po ba na PDF? Yan. Okay, so yes, of course, I will share kasi naka-enroll po kayo sa akin. That is my promise. Okay, during the Japanese occupation of the Philippines, scarcity of food and basic goods caused several social problems. What was not a result? A, looting, B, violence, C, health problems. May nakalagay daw dun na example, berry. Okay, so linagay ko na rin dyan. Okay, and D, hunger. Okay, so number 7, during the Japanese occupation of the Philippines, scarcity of food and basic goods caused several social problems. What was not a result? A, looting, B, violence, C, health problems. Okay, example, berry, and D, hunger. Okay, so may sumagot ng kakaiba, but it's okay. All right. Oh, not. All right. Okay. Okay. So the answer there is violence. Okay. So sumagot sa A, it's okay. Okay. Kasi yan talaga yung paglalabanan mo eh. It's either A or B. Okay. Yan. Okay. And that is why naghanap talaga ako ng how do you call that? Ng source na it explicitly says na looting happened during the scarcity of food. Okay, yan. So, but anyway, health problems, sure na yan. Okay, nakita ko na rin yan. So, in fact, nakita ko noon ang problema sa health nung scarcity of food is malaria, tropical ulcer, it's called jungle rot. Okay, yan. Kasi nga, kulang sila sa food. Okay, and pinaka-example yan is yung berry. Okay, kasi ang kinakain lang daw ng mga tao noon is puro more on carbs. Okay, yan. Eh, ang berry, lack of thiamine. Okay, yan. Alright. Hunger, of course, yan ang direct na cause ng scarcity of food. Okay? And then, looting, yes. Okay, so I indeed saw a source. Okay, maraming source actually ang nakalagay dyan na looting was rampant at that time. Okay, yan. In fact, ang ginagawa daw ng mga Japanese at that time is kahit kasi mga bata daw usually ang mga nagdanakaw noon. So kinukuha nila and then tinatali nila dun sa tapos lahat ng mga tao na nagpa-pass by sinasampal. Okay? It doesn't matter kung bata, okay, pero sasampalin daw talaga. All right? And then okay, so bakit violence? Okay, so bakit hindi result ng scarcity of food ang violence? Okay? It could had happened. Okay? Kaya lang hindi siya direct. Okay? Ang violence was more of a result nung war. Okay, yan. At saka ay alam niyo na yung atrocity ng mga Japanese noon. Okay. Alright. Ano pa ba yung okay. Alright. So thank you for reposting and liking the live. Yan. So nag-ano po ako, nagpapa-free Macboards po ako sa ating Blue App. So message lang po kayo doon. Number 8, if the cost of production increases, what will most likely happen to the revenue of a business if prices remain unchanged? A increases, B decreases, C remains the same, and D fluctuates unpredictably. Okay? Yan. So ang lahat ng mga nag-exam, okay, hindi naman pala lahat. Okay? So yung mga nakikita ko yung mga nag-uusap dati sa ating GC, sa aming GC noon. Okay, yung mga economics naman na questions daw is you use your common sense. Okay? So you just have to understand the concept nga. Okay? That is why hindi tayo masyadong mahilig sa mga actual questions or wag tayong mag-focus, okay, sa mga actual, okay? Kailangan nating intindihin yung mga concepts. All right? So of course, ano nga ba sige, okay. So ano nga ba yung ibang words or ibang term for revenue? Okay, yan. Ano yung ibang terms ng revenue kahit Tagalog pa po? Yan. Ano ba ang other term for revenue? Okay? Okay, yes. All right. Okay, very good kayo dyan. Yes, so yes, profit. Okay, yan. So basically, yung sinasabi niya, pag tumaas yung cost of production, okay, kita. Yes, kita. Yes, all right. So pag tumaas yung cost of production, ibig sabihin yung nagastos mo, okay, to produce something, ano yung mangyayari doon sa kita, okay, or profit, kung hindi mo naman inakyat yung price. Okay, yan. All right, so and of course, magdi-decrease siya. Yan. Bababa ang kita, okay? Or kung mamasamain pa, malulugi ka pa. Okay, yan. Okay. Okay. So ito mga bonus question natin. Mahilig ako dito. Yan. So what term describes a situation? Lumalabas din po kasi to and of course related dun sa ating mga tanong. So ano natin. So what term describes a situation where a country's total imports of goods and services exceeds its total exports over a given period? Okay, A, trade surplus, B, trade deficit, C, trade balance, and D, trade equilibrium. So what term describes a situation where a country's total imports of goods and services exceed its total export over a given period? Okay, so A, trade surplus, B, trade deficit, C, trade balance, and D, D, trade equilibrium. Okay, so, all right. Okay. All right, so the answer here is trade deficit. Okay, so ulitin natin yung trade deficit is, pag alam natin ang deficit, ibig sabihin, nalugi tayo. Okay, di ba? So, trade, when we say trade, okay, we pertains to the export at saka import. Okay, yan. So, pag mas marami tayong in-import, okay, ibig sabihin marami tayong binili i-compare sa marami tayong ibinenta palabas, of course, it causes trade deficit. Okay, yes. Correct. The more imports, less exports, nalugi tayo, it causes trade deficit. Okay, yan. But the actual question talaga na lumabas was, which of the following situations would most likely lead to a trade deficit in a country's balance of trade? A, increase in imports, B, decrease in imports, C, increase in exports, and D, decrease in export. Okay lang naligwak ngayon, di ba? Yan. Okay lang naligwak tayo. At least alam na natin. Okay, yan. So number 9, which of the following situations would most likely lead to a trade deficit in a country's balance of trade? A, increase in exports, B, decrease in imports, C, increase in export, and D, decrease in export. Yan. So, na-explain na natin kanina kung ano yung trade deficit niyan. Okay. Mabilis ba ako, guys? Parang walang tigil yung... Alright, so B, 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 B. Mhm. Bakit may A or D? Okay, okay, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So the answer there. Okay, so I will explain. Okay, so the answer there is letter A, guys. Kasi na-explain na natin, 'di ba? Ang trade deficit nangyayari pag mas marami kang import, i-compare mo dun sa export. 'Di ba? Na-explain na natin 'yan. Okay? So syempre, kung mas marami kang na-import, mas maraming nagastos yung gobyerno, 'di ba? Tapos mas konti yung na-export mo, okay, then of course, wala ka nang kita. Okay, yan. Alright, and that is why, naintindihan ko kung bakit sabi ni Sir Winston, A or D. Okay, kaya lang, the best answer here is letter A. Okay, why not D? Bakit hindi D? Kasi decrease in export doesn't always mean, okay, na meron siyang trade deficit. Kasi pwede nga nag-decrease yung export pero nag-decrease din naman yung import, 'di ba? Yan, so parehas lang, 'di ba? Ganyan. So that is why the best answer here is increase in imports kasi how do you call that? Um how do you call that? Yun yung pinaka-cost talaga ng mag-trade ng trade deficit. Kasi for example, isa pa, for example, nag-increase yung imports mo, tapos nag-increase din yung export mo. Yes, yung export mo, 'di ba? Pwede din ganon, okay? Sa bagay, sa cost po niya mas lugi. Yes, very good. Yes. So yun pa rin 'yon, 'di ba? Pwede pa rin na yes, sa cost pa rin talaga magkaka how do you call that? Magkakatalo. Yes, very good. Yes, so nag-gets. All right, number 10. What is the income classification of the Philippines as of 2025 according to the World Bank? Okay, A, low-income country, B, lower middle income country, C, upper middle income country, and D, high income country. Actually, yung sumagot dito, lumabas to, di ba? Yan. Ah, natsambahan nila. Okay, yan. Okay? Kasi there's a thin line. I will explain it later. Okay, yan. So what is the income classification of the Philippines as of 2025 according to the World Bank? A, low income country, B, lower middle income country, C, upper middle income country, and D, high income country. Okay. Dapat letter A. Okay, all right. So let's see. All right. So the answer here is okay. So explain ko muna. Okay. So kailangan maghanap tayo ng ebidensya. Okay. So itong income classification, paano to ng World Bank? Okay, yan. So meron to pag low income, this is itong income classification, connected siya sa ating GNI, okay, gross national income per capita. Okay, ibig sabihin magkano yung yung ng income ng isang tao, isang Pilipino outside ban or outside or inside the Philippines per year. Okay, yan. So, kaya nga maniniwala ba kayo? Okay, yan. So, yan. So, nakalagay dyan. Alright, so low income, lower middle income, upper middle income, and high income. Okay, so andito tayo sa lower middle income because, okay, so because ang ating GNI daw, okay, is 4,470 dollars. Okay, so that is how much? 250,000, 'di ba? 250,000 ang average income ng isang tao dito sa Pilipinas. Umaabot ba tayo ng ganun? Do you think so? Okay. Yan. So, kasi hirap ng situation natin, parang letter A na, coach. Okay. I understand. Okay, yes, I understand. Okay, pero yun nga, nahanap ko din talaga yung ating na ang ating GNI is 4,470. Yes, it is per year. Yes, it is per year. Kasi GNI per capita is per year. Yes. And nakita ko nga, konting-konti na lang. Okay, may nakita kong article, konting-konti na lang magiging upper middle income country tayo. Kaya lang naungusan tayo ng Vietnam. Yan. And then may maraming talagang source na nakalagay na we belong to lower middle income country. Okay, yan. And how do you call that? Umaasa daw ang ating presidente, okay, na maging upper middle income country na tayo. All right. Okay, number 11, the following were programs and policies associated with Ramon Magsaysay. Okay, except A, the establishment of the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration. B, the creation of the Agricultural Credit and Cooperative Financing Administration. C, the Filipino First Policy. And D, the passage of the Agricultural Tenancy Act and the creation of the Court of Agrarian Relations. Okay, so sabi ni Sir Winston, dahil po sa direct foreign investment, actually may lumabas din po yan. Okay, na tanong nung March 2026. Okay, and I also thought, okay, na FDI was the answer. Okay, pero hindi 'yon. Okay, papalabas natin sa next. All right? Kasi 40 points lang 'to. Ang idinagdag ko na lumabas is nasa 50 plus ata. Yan. So yun ang isama natin next All right? Okay, see kasi kay Garcia yan, 'di ba, ma'am? Okay, so let's see. Of course, and the answer there is the Filipino First Policy. Yes, and I was about to ask you, sino? Okay, ang galing nyo talaga. Alam nyo na yung style ko. Alright. Yeah, so it is Carlos P. Garcia. Okay, so linagay ko dito yung mga common na lumalabas sa Okay, so kung hindi nyo nakita yung iba, okay, ibig sabihin hindi siya common na lumalabas. But of course, sabi ko nga, your learning is your own responsibility. Yan. So kung mag-research din kayo, okay, yan. Kasi patayin tayo ng siyam-siyam kung lahat ilalagay natin dito, okay? So, yan. So, linagay ko yung mga common na lumalabas sa ating mga policies, okay, by the different presidents, okay? So, Manuel Rojas, yan, ganyan, okay? So, basahin nyo na lang to, okay? Kasi, how do you call that? Baka abutin tayo ng 3 o'clock. Okay, yan. Pinakagasgas itong for Filipino First at saka austerity program ni Carlos P. Garcia. Okay, yung Filipino First, ang meaning nito is inuuna, okay, yung mga ang mga Filipinos, of course, businesses, all right? And yung austerity naman, yun yung magtipid. Okay, yan. All right. Diosdado Macapagal yung land reform code niya. Okay, yan. Usong-uso, all right? Okay, laging lumalabas yan. Okay, kay Ferdinand Marcos, yung Masagana 99. Okay, yan yung miracle rice niya. Okay, yung IR8 na miracle rice niya. Alright, Corazon Aquino, lumalabas paulit-ulit yung CARP. Okay? Fidel V. Ramos, yung Philippines 2000 niya or yung PEZA. Okay? Si Fidel V. Ramos, paborito ng LET. Alright. Joseph Estrada, of course, yung era para sa mahirap niya. Okay, yan. Yung pro-poor programs daw. Alright. Kay Gloria Macapagal, yung EVAT. Okay. Okay, yung 4-piece nakalagay sa kanya kasi siya yung sa pilot. Okay, yung pilot nung 4-piece, okay? Pero ang nag-enact nung law nung 4-piece is si former President Rodrigo Duterte. Okay, yan. Parang yung ano din, yung K-12, nag-start din yan kay Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Okay, pero yung nag-enact din talaga is si former President Benigno Aquino III. Right. Okay. And yung bill, dumalabas din po yun kay Rodrigo Duterte. Alright? Bibigay ko naman yung PDF so you can read more about this. Number 12, punishment is a form of social control. Lumabas pa to, okay, nasa aming huling bulong. Or pabao na tayo, no? Yan. Lumabas ba talaga to? Okay, so punishment is a form of social control. If death penalty is imposed to scare offenders and the rest of society into following the rules, the purpose of punishment is a retribution, be deterrence, reformation, and the prevention. Okay, yan. So punishment is a form of social control. If death penalty is imposed to scare offenders and the rest of society into following the rules, the purpose of punishment is a retribution, B, deterrence, C, reformation, and D, prevention. Okay. All right. So, very good kayo dyan. The answer there is deterrence. To deter, alam naman natin yan, di ba? You deter them. Okay. So, you scare them. Alright, okay. So, actually, apat yung mga ang lumalabas, okay? Pero may nakita ako na isang source na sinama nila tong restoration, okay? So, usually, apat lang. So, nasabi na natin, kano yung deterrence, okay? Yan. So, for example, death penalty, of course, di ba? Ikaw ba naman, di ba? Pinatatakot nga, di ba? Yan. Alright, retribution. Ano ba yung ano? Ano yung retribution is, ano ba yung sa Tagalog yung retribution? Yung magre-revenge ka. Okay, yan. Ano ba? Ano ba yung Tagalog ng retribution? Ganti. Okay, yan. Ganti. Eye for an eye. Yan. Kung ano yung ano mo, yung crime mo, yun din yung makukuha mo. But of course, retaliate. Okay, yes, yes, very good. Yes. Ano yung agaw? Agaw. All right, yes. But of course, kung pansinin nyo, kaya dapat ano kayo, very how do you call that? Very ano ba yan? Vigilant din kayo, okay? Kasi syempre, yung eye for an eye or itong retribution, hindi ibig sabihin na ang example niya ay pag pinatay mo ay papatay ka. Hindi na yon. Kasi nga we are now we have now laws, okay? Kaya ang isang example kasi lumalabas din to and maraming nabubudol, okay? Life imprisonment for serious crime, okay? It is under retribution kasi nga uh, ang ibig sabihin din ng retribution is the punishment fits the crime. Okay, yan. Hindi naman na tayo pwedeng pumatay. Okay? So for example, pag serious crime, mas mataas din yung ano yung ano mo, yung punishment mo. Tapos kung petty, halimbawa jaywalking, of course, magbayad ka lang ng fine. Ganon, alright? Okay, so how to enroll? Message lang po kayo sa Blue App ko. Okay, yan, sa Blue App. Grography din po. Alright. Okay, reformation. Ano nga ba yung mag-reform? Okay, magbago. Okay? Heinous crime. Yes, or heinous crime. Yes. Heinous crime. Yes. Pag heinous crime, dapat heinous din yung ano mo, 'di ba? Heinous din yung makukuha mong how do you call that? punishment. Okay. So balik tayo sa reformation. Reformation, pagbabago. Okay, yan. So how do you do that? How do you do this? Okay? Hindi mo siya i-imprison or something. Okay? You will do counseling. Okay? Yan. All right? Although ang ating imprisonment now is a form of reformation actually, 'di ba? Yan. Yan ang sinasabi nila. Alright, prevention, you prevent. Okay, and tingnan nyo, nagkakatalo na naman sa example. Okay, death penalty, imprisonment. Okay, yan. So, depende po yan kung paano yung pagka-word. Okay, para nung example. Okay, yan. And restoration, you restore. Okay, so meaning you repair harm to victims. Okay, yan. So, pwede kang, for example, sa amin sa Ifugao is magmulta ka. Okay, yan. That is restoration yan. Kasi you want to make things right. Okay. Kung ano po yung ginawa mo, dapat katimbang sa punishment po. Yes, yun, dun sa retribution. Okay, kasi nga, how do you call that? Ano sa Tagalog na naman? Nakakalimutan ko. Okay? Yan. Ano yung sinabi ko kanina hindi kasi ako Tagalog eh. Yan. So, ang retribution is ganti. Okay? So, the punishment fits the crime. Yan. Pero sinabi ko nga kanina, hindi na po tayo pwede na an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Hindi na po pwede ngayon. Okay? Wala tayo nun sa Hammurabi time. Okay? Ngayon, we have laws. Yan. Okay? Yan. So yan ang example natin, life imprisonment for serious crime, okay? And fines for petty crimes, mga ganun. All right? Number 13, when the president vetoes a bill, what proportion of votes from Congress is required to override the veto and pass the bill into law? Okay, A, 1/3 vote of all members of Congress, B, 1/2 vote of all members of Congress, C, yes, we have human rights now. Tama. C, 2/3 vote of all members of Congress, and D, 3/4 vote of all members of Congress. Okay, that is why kailangan yung intindihin yung tanong. Okay, hindi dahil nakita nyo na, ay, familiar tong option na to, familiar yung ito na yung sagot. Okay, hindi. Kasi kailangan nyo pa rin intindihin yung pagka-word, pagka-construct ng tanong. Alright? And of course, the answer there, ilagay nyo po yung number. Okay, number 13 na po tayo. And the answer there is 2/3 vote of all members of Congress. Okay, yan. So, wag niyong kalimutan, ang override means, halimbawa, binito ng presidente, okay, hindi ibig sabihin katapusan na ng bill yun, okay? Pwede pa rin ilaban ng Congress yon, okay, by overriding it. That's the word, override. Okay, ito yung mga common na lumalabas, okay, yung mga kung ano yung percentage. Okay, pag declare a state of war, okay, or the existence of war, 2/3, okay, 2/3 ng members of each house voting separately. Okay, yan, usually mga 2/3, puro sila 2/3. Okay, yan. Pag override, and dyan na 2/3 pa rin yan. Okay, call for a constitutional convention, 2/3 pa rin yan. Okay? Pero yung impeachment, okay? Impeachment, ito yung naiba, okay? Pag impeachment, 1/3 lang ng House of Representatives. Okay? Kasi nga po, hindi naman, ang impeachment is manggagaling sa ating House of Representatives, okay? Hindi nakasali na mag-vote ang mga Senate, okay? Kasi doon, ang Senate naman ang how do you call that? Ang magpuput into trial, okay? Yan. Right? So, wag niyong kalimutan, halos puro 2/3 lahat except for impeachment. Okay? Kasi ang impeachment only lies doon sa House of Representatives and it's only for 1/3. Okay. Ni counter is override. Okay, yes. Okay, overturn is baliktarin. Okay, good job kayo dyan. Number 14, some discussions raise the idea of the Philippines becoming a colony of the United States again. Which principle in political science best explains why this idea is generally rejected? Okay, A, cultural diffusion, B, national sovereignty, C, economic globalization, and D, political assimilation. Okay, so may kwento lang yung tanong, okay? Yan. Pero pag alam na natin yung concept, napaka-easy lang yan. So meron pa siyang pasabi na Philippines becoming a colony of the United States again, yung mga ganon-ganon. Pero 'di ba? Napaka-basic lang talaga yung tanong. Yes? Ano, bakit never again. Okay, ayaw nyo? Alright. Okay, may sumagot po ng letter D. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yan. So of course, the answer there is national sovereignty. Kasi nabanggit natin, so dalawang beses lumabas ang sovereignty actually. Okay, yan. So, kasi nga po, ayaw na nating pasakop. Kasi nga, we have our own sovereignty. What is the meaning of sovereignty? Okay, so we govern our own nation without the interference of, well, without outside interference. Okay, that is national sovereignty. Okay, so let's see, ano ba yung sumagot? May sumagot ng, okay, so let's explain. Okay, ano ba yung diffusion muna? Okay, diffusion, alam niyo yung diffuser? Yan. Yung ano, yung parang, how do you call that? How do you call that? Diffuser, yung nilalagyan mo ng ano, ng pabango, tapos magdi-diffuse. Okay, because the meaning of diffusion is mag-spread. Okay, so cultural diffusion, mag-spread ng culture. Okay, so it has nothing to do with it. Okay, yan, spread of culture, very good. Economic globalization. Okay, so ano nga ba meaning ng globalization? Balik tayo. Okay, yan. Kung kasi I understand kung napaka-wordy, 'di ba? Is you try to to chunk the words, okay? So for example, um sorry ha, meron kasi akong tuta dito nilalagay dito kasi tawag doon, iniwan siya ng nanay niya. So, namatay yung kapatid niya. So, binabantayan ko siya. Okay, so, medyo maingay siya. Pasensyahan niyo na ako. Alright, so, yes. Okay, so ano nga ba yung globalization? It is interconnected. Okay, so, i-connect mo yung economic. Okay, so, ibig sabihin, interconnected yung economy. Okay, that is just the meaning of it. Okay, next, assimilation. Ayan, laging nababanggit ang assimilation, 'di ba? Kay ano, kay sa cognitive, sa Prof Ed, 'di ba? Ganyan. So ano nga ba yung assimilate? Okay, assimilate meaning may isang dominant, okay? And then may isang minor and then nawawala, okay? Or kinakain ng dominant yung minor. Okay, whatever minor it is. Okay, yan. Yan ang meaning ng assimilation. And nakalagay diyan political assimilation. So anything political, okay? For example, may malaking okay, for example, tumakbo ako, independent lang ako, 'di ba? And then ang kalaban ko is meron silang linya. Okay, so pwede talaga akong makain. Okay, or makain ng sistema kasi minor lang ako. Yan. So nag-assimilate na siya. All right? Sabi niya, to embrace completely something. Not necessarily. Okay? So hindi mo kailangang i-embrace. It's just that ang assimilation is nakain ka na lang. Okay? Nawala ka na lang because you belong to the minority. Okay? Parang ganun. Okay? There is a stronger force. Okay? So it's either ayaw mo o gusto mo. Okay? Yun yung meaning ng assimilation. Okay? Yan. Number 15, tariffs in the United States have been rising. What should Donald Trump do to address the problem of increasing tariffs? A, provide tariff subsidies. B, remove or reduce tariffs. C, promote a more competitive market. And D, increase tariffs further. Okay, so tariffs in the United States have been rising. What should Donald Trump do to address the problem of increasing tariffs? A, provide tariff subsidies. B, remove or reduce tariffs. C, promote a more competitive market. And D, increase tariffs further. Okay, so I think napaka-easy yung tanong na to. Okay, yes. So of course, you just have to remove the tariff, di ba? Kasi kung letter A, ako pwede mo paglabanan yung A and B, okay, di ba? Kasi yung C and D kinokontra niya na. 'Di ba? Yan. Pero of course, yung provide tariff subsidies, it still doesn't answer yung problema sa tariff. Okay? Kasi nga nagbibigay lang ano ba yung tariff subsidies? Okay? Ito yung mga pera na ibinibigay ng gobyerno, okay, sa mga negosyante. Okay? So it still doesn't answer the problem of tariff. Okay? Kasi nga as of now, ang problema talaga is ang laki ng ini-increase ni Donald Trump sa mga goods, okay? So may nabasa pa nga ako dun sa pagdating sa mga medicines, naglagay siya ng 100%, Okay, 100% increase ng tariff. Imagine that. Okay? Yes, actually, yes. So, ginagawa niyang sanction yon. Okay, yes. But then, it is really hurting the economy kasi kailangan pa rin nilang mag-import, di ba? Hindi naman, pwede siguro pag China, di ba? Kasi, pwede mong gawin lahat doon eh. Ginagawa na nila. They are almost, okay, if I may say, okay, they are self-sufficient ang China. Okay, yan. Except siguro sa oil. Yan. Pero still, di ba? Yan. So, ito nga, sabi nga ni ano ng ating World Bank President, lower tariffs are good for everybody. Okay, yan. So, it just proves, okay, na it is really good, okay, or it's a smart move, okay, to remove or reduce tariffs at least, okay. Gusto kasi niya American first, parang pinoprotect niya economy yes, okay, actually na-discuss na namin yan, okay, isa sa mga policies ni Trump is protectionism. Okay, yes, protectionism. America first, yan. Nabanggit din namin yan nung sa previous ano natin. Okay, number 16, which treaty officially ended World War I and imposed harsh penalties on Germany? A, Treaty of Paris. B, Treaty of Tordesillas. C, Treaty of Versailles. And D, Treaty of Ghent. Okay, yan. So which treaty officially ended World War I and imposed harsh penalties on Germany? A, Treaty of Paris. C, Treaty of Tordesillas. C, Treaty of Versailles. And D, Treaty of Ghent. Okay, or Ghent siguro yan. Report ko yan. Di ba? Learning is everywhere. Okay, so may sumagot na letter A, it's okay. Kung nagkamali pa kayo, it's okay. Okay, nung nagsisimula din ako, mali-mali din ako. Mali ko ba sa mga treaties na to, di ba? Yan. Alright, so of course, the answer there is Treaty of Versailles. Okay. All right. Okay. So tama si Sir Winston. Treaty of Paris, ending Spanish-Filipino War. Yes. So, and then of course the Philippines was ceded to the US. Okay. But pero dalawa din yung ano ha, Treaty of Paris natin. Okay. Kasi ito, Treaty of Paris ng 1763, ito yung 7 Years War. Okay, so maalala nyo, inoccupy tayo ng Britain, di ba? So pumunta mo na yung Spain, di ba? Tapos inoccupy tayo ng Britain, okay, ng 2 years. Okay, and then, after that, nagkaroon ng Treaty of Paris ng 1763. So, na-end yung 7 Years War. And that is why, binalik tayo ng Britain sa Spain. Okay, yun yung Treaty of Paris of 1763. And then, ito ngayon sinasabi ni Sir Winston yung Spanish-American War. Yan. And Spanish, wherein the Philippines was ceded to the US, that is Treaty of Paris 1898. Okay, right, and Treaty of Ghent, yan, what did it end? Anong war? That is War of 1812, which is between United States and Great Britain. Okay, yan. Lumalabas din po yung Treaty of Tordesillas. Okay, so Tordesillas, pag naisip niyo yung Tordesillas, isipin niyo yung Pius. Kasi laging lumalabas po yan. Okay, Tordesillas, Pius. Okay, so hinati ang mundo sa dalawa. Pius, Portugal, East. Okay, PE. West is to Spain. Okay, yan. Number 17. In the study of economics, one individual is widely recognized for fundamentally changing how economists understand the economy as a whole, particularly through his analysis of aggregate demand and his advocacy of government intervention during economic downturns. Okay, ek ko lang yan. Okay, linagay ko lang yan. Okay, para mas maintindihan nyo. Okay, yan. Yan. Pero ang tanong talaga, who is regarded as the father of macroeconomics? Okay, yan. Okay, A. Adam Smith, B. John Maynard Keynes, C. Milton Friedman, and D. Karl Marx. Okay, yan. So bakit ko linagay yung ganyan? Kasi it can happen, okay? For example, explain ko lang mabilis ha. Nung time namin, June 2025, ang lumabas is kay sino na yon? Sino na yon? Sino na yun yung 95 thesis yan? So, tinanong lang, sino nagsulat nung 95 thesis? Okay, yun lang yung tanong. And then, nung September 2025, ang tanong is, ano yung hindi binalak Ano ba yan? Yung 95 thesis? Yan. Sorry, may mga mental blocks kasi. Ayun, si Martin Luther. Yes. So, ang tanong nung June 2025 is, sino? Okay, yung nagsulat nung 95 thesis. Okay, so of course, the answer there is Martin Luther. Okay, yan. Pero, nung September 2025, ang tinanong is, ano yung hindi sinadya ni Martin Luther nung sinulat niya yung 95 Thesis. Okay, so that could really happen. And that is why I am fond of putting more information dito. Kasi next time, baka yan ang tanungin, andito yung, ano, yung tanong. Okay, yan hindi lang father of macroeconomics. Okay, alright. So, Queen po siya. All right. All right. So of course, the answer there is yan, si John Maynard Keynes. All right. Si Adam Smith, paborito rin po siya ng ating social majorship. Okay, of course, Karl Marx as well. All right, lumalabas din to si Milton Friedman sa mga mocks. Okay, pero so far, hindi ko pa siya na-encounter, okay, sa actual let questions, okay, since nag-exam ako. Okay, but of course, pag-aralan natin. Okay, so Adam Smith, father of economics, father of microeconomics. Okay, lumalabas sa kanya yung free markets and invisible hand. Okay, tsaka yung wealth of nations na sinulat niya, right? John Maynard Keynes, of course, yes. The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money. Yan yung major works niya. And of course, father of macroeconomics. Yung Friedman, monetarism. Okay, yan yung laging lumalabas sa mga nakikita ko sa mga na-encounter ko na questions, okay, nung nagre-review ako. Yan, yung paggamit ng money, okay, money supply, okay, pag-control ng money supply para magkaroon ng stability yung ating economy. And of course, alam na natin si Karl Marx, pa ulit-ulit yan, okay? Karl Marx, communism, okay, capitalism, okay, yan. Ano pa? Alfred Marshall. Yes, lumalabas po yung mga si Alfred Marshall as well. Okay, we'll tackle that sa mga susunod. All right, number 18. Who first introduced the use of the printing press in the Philippines? A. Chinese ba yan? B. British? C. Spanish? And D. Japanese? Yes, maraming ganap. Paborito siya, si Karl Marx. Okay, yan. Okay, so who first introduced the use of the printing press in the Philippines? A. Chinese ba yan? B. British? C. Spanish? Please put the number, guys. Pakilagay yung number natin. Okay? Para hindi tayo ma-RR. And D. Japanese. Alright. And of course, tama po kayo dyan. Okay, yan. So, actually, ang naisip ko, okay, nasagot is Chinese, 'di ba? Kasi sila ang ano um magaling sa invention and they really did. May lumalabas pa nga na sa first printer was not was invented by them. Okay, 'yon. 'Yun yung lumalabas. All right. Tingnan natin. Okay. All right. Yeah, but yes, the answer there is Spanish. Okay, yan. All right. So yung for all about the printing in the Philippines. Okay? So ang unang nagano sa ating printer is si Father Domingo de Nieva. Okay, ang assistant niya si Kieng Yong. Okay. Ito lumalabas din tong xylographic printing. Hindi ko lang maalala kung ano yung tanong. Okay, na-encounter ko nagre-review ako. Okay? So itong xylographic printing, ito yung yung nakalagay sa wood block. Okay, yan. Tapos pipinturahan nila yung wood block tapos i-press nila dun sa papel. Okay, that is called the xylographic printing. Okay? Yes, yes, if you read kay Johann Gutenberg, siya 'di ba yung first na nag-invent ng pero maraming mga lumalabas na na nauna talaga ang mga Chinese. Okay, yan. Pero kumbaga, na-revolutionized ni Johann Gutenberg. Alright? Okay, yes. And of course, ang ating first book, okay? So, sa ating printing in the Philippines, sa history niya, okay, John na print yung Doctrina Christiana, our first book. Okay, yan. Number 19, in a monopolistic competition market, a company produces several brands of similar products, but all are owned by the same firm. What is the likely result? A, monopoly, B, perfect competition, C, oligopoly, and D, pure competition. Okay, gutom na ata yung ano ko. In a monopolistic competition, a company produces several brands of similar products but all are owned by the same firm. Isa lang din ang magmamayari. What is the likely result? Okay, and of course, yes. So the answer there is monopoly pa rin yan. Okay, yan. Siya pa rin lahat yan. So, makokontrol pa rin niya lahat. Alright? Alright, so here we are. What are the different market structures? Yan. So, nasabi na natin yung monopoly. Okay, yan. So, ito naman, perfect competition at saka pure competition, magkaparehas po yan. Okay, similar. Yan. So, many sellers, many buyers. Okay, yan. So, napaka-perfect. Okay, maraming pagpipilian yung mga buyers. Okay, and then of course, oligarchy, oligopoly. Pag sinabi mong few. Okay, so oligopoly means few large firms ang nagple-play lang sa ating market. So it could happen na they could collude. Okay, para maano nila how do you call that? Makontrol yung prices. Okay, yan. So tama nga naman, soft drinks industry, di ba? Ilan lang ba ang soft drinks yan? Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Meron pa ba? Yan. RC, parang meron pa bang RC ngayon? Okay. Yes, monopsony. Okay, monopsony. Yes, tama. Lumalabas din po 'yan. Monopsony is one buyer and ang lumalabas diyan na example sa Macboard is yung NFA, okay? Binabay ng NFA, okay, ang rice ng mga farmers. Alright. Ang Mountain Dew ata is kasama yan sa sa Pepsi Company, 'di ba? Parang noon yung Fanta, yung mga ganun. Ang Fanta kasama yan sa Coca-Cola, under Coca-Cola. Alright. Number 20. Ah, I'm not sure ngayon ha, pero dati kasi distributor kami nung ng Pepsi. Okay, yan. So, alam ko na yung Mountain Dew, Pepsi, meron pa yung isa. Okay, isa lang yan. Isa under Pepsi lang siya. All right. Number 20. Which of the following is considered a major contributor to the economy of the United States? Yan. So, A, large industries, B, Fortune 500 companies, C, small and medium enterprises, and D, wage earners. Okay, yes. So, this is very easy. Okay, yan. Alright, so of course, letter C. Okay, pero naghanap pa rin tayo. True ba yan? Okay, kasi I'm pretty sure yung large industries at saka wage earners, wala na yan. Okay? Yan. Kasi konti lang naman talaga ang large industries, even here in the Philippines. Yan. So, it's the same with US. Okay, yung wage earners naman, alisin mo na yan. Okay, kasi ang wage earners, sila lang yung nagpapatakbo. Okay, but we are asking for the major contributor. So, ang pwede lang paglabanan dyan is Fortune 500 tsaka letter C. Okay, yan. But of course, we have to look for the how do you call that? The evidence, okay, na bakit hindi Fortune 500 companies. Alright, so nakita natin 1/3 of the US GDP. Okay? Ang galing sa Fortune 500 companies. Ito yung Fortune 500 companies, ito yung first 500 na big companies. Okay, yan. So mataas naman na ang nabibigay nila sa GDP ng US. Kaya lang, ang nako-contribute lang nila is 18% of workforce. Okay? Yan, 18% of workforce compared to SMEs na 44% ang nagko-contribute nila sa US GDP tapos 2/3 ang workforce. Yan. So panalo pa rin sila sa workforce. Yan. Number 21. Economic analysts frequently highlight a recurring inflow of approximately 4 billion entering the Philippine economy from overseas sources. This financial movement is a critical component of the country's gross national income and consumer spending. Which of the following is being described? A, Yahoo, B, HTTP, C, www, and D, OFW remittances. Okay, so yun po talaga yung nakalagay na option. Okay, yan. So wag niyo akong awayin kung bakit yung mga ganyan. Alright? So may mga kasi, may mga hindi, how do you call that? May mga followers ako na they don't know, okay, kung paano yung tanungan sa let. So, halimbawa, pag nakakita sila ng ganyan, nagbabash sila, ano ba yan, yung mga options mo, pang bobo, yung mga ganun. Pero ano magagawa natin? Okay, we don't create the questions. Alright, worldwide workers. Alright, of course, and the answer there is OFW remittances. Okay, may nakalagay daw kasi doon na 4 billion. Okay, so hinanap ko naman talaga. Alright, yung 4 billion na yon. Okay? And it doesn't fit. Ang nakalagay doon is 35 billion. Okay? Per year. So maybe yung 4 billion na yan is per month. Okay? Ganyan. But of course, kahit hindi yan umakma, hindi rin naman pwede yung Yahoo, hindi naman HTTP, hindi rin naman www. Okay? So the best answer there is OFW remittances. Okay? Yan. Okay, bonus question natin. Which Philippine government agency was established in 2022 to oversee the welfare, protection, and employment of overseas Filipino workers, replacing the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration? A, DOLE ba yan? B, OWA, C, DMW, and D, POEA. Yan. Yan, so, saan dyan? Alright? So, of course, alisin na natin ang POEA kasi sabi nga niya na replace na niya yan. Alright? Okay. DMW, ano yung iba? Ba't di sumasagot yung iba? Alright. You can try, okay? Kung mali kayo, okay lang. Nung sa akin, mali-mali din ako. Alright? And the answer there is DMW. Okay, yan. Okay? Alright, so balikan natin kasi may sumagot ng OWA. Alright, Tatak Duterte, DMW. Okay, yes, I remember kasi nung I was at OFW ako ng 16 years yan. So nung ano, maalala ko yan na nag-DMW na siya yan. So kasi doon na kami nag-ano ng form. Alright, so bakit nga ba hindi OWA? Alright, kasi yung OWA, that is ang binibigay ng OWA is tulong na lang, tulong sa mga families. Okay, yan. Hindi sa ano sa welfare, hindi yan sa protection and employment of overseas Filipino workers. Okay, yan. So it is more on after na lang yan, mga social ano. Right? Yan ang pagkakaiba ng OWA at saka DMW. Okay? Number 22, a lawmaker wants to create a law about same-sex civil unions. Some religious groups have strong opinions, but the law should apply to all Filipino regardless of religion. Which principle should guide the lawmaker? A, base laws mainly on the Bible. B, make Catholicism the official religion. C, follow the separation of church and state. And D, let religious leaders approve laws. Okay, yan. Lagay niyo po yung number, guys. Lagay natin yung number para nakikita ko. Okay? Yan. Alright? And of course, we are talking about laws here. And it says there, all Filipinos regardless of religion. Okay? Kung A, B, at saka D, may kinikilingang religion yan. Diba? Yan. Of course, and that is why, and meron naman tayong ano talaga, naka-indicate sa ating constitution, di ba? Yung follow the separation of church and state. Okay. Let's stock knowledge ulit. Who proposed the creation of the League of Nations? Okay. Woodrow Wilson ba yan or Winston Churchill? Okay, yan. Who proposed the creation of the League of Nations? Red ba yan na si Woodrow Wilson or blue na Winston Churchill? Alright. Nabanggit na natin to, paulit-ulit, nung ano. Ayaw nga pala yan. Right? Okay, so the answer here is it's Woodrow Wilson. Okay, siya yung president at that time ng US. Okay, siya yung nag-propose ng creation of the League of Nations. Winston Churchill, ito yung sa UK noon. Alright? Okay, so let's see. Ano nga ba yung League of Nations? Yan, so ulitin natin kasi laging nababanggit to. Okay, yan. Ang League of Nations, ang lumalabas din na tanong nito is, ito yung pinalitan ng United Nations. Okay, yan. So this is League of Nations. So ginawa ito nung World War I. And what is the purpose? It maintain peace and resolve conflicts. Okay, asan ang headquarters? Sa Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, yan. And lumalabas din to na nasa principle ng 14 points ni Woodrow Wilson. Okay, kaya na-establish tong League of Nations. Okay, yan. And ito yung tanong talaga sa anong March. What was a weakness of the League of Nations? Okay, A, presence of the United States as a member. B, focus mainly on European issues. C, strong military force to enforce decisions. And D, effective participation. Okay, later okay. Tapusin natin. Effective participation of all major powers. Okay, yan. Okay, galing nyo ah. All right, and yes, okay. So the answer there is yes, focus mainly on European issues. Okay, yan. So sabi nung isang ano ko, enrollee ko, okay, yan. So nagpalit daw siya ng sagot. Okay, bis daw dapat yung sasagot niya. Kaya lang nagbago yung isip niya. Linagay yung presence of the United States as a member. Okay, but then kahit sinabi natin ang nag-propose, okay, ay si Woodrow Wilson, hindi sila sumali. Okay, kasi ayaw ng Congress. Okay, yan. Itong letter C, strong military force to enforce decisions. Ito yung paulit-ulit na lumalabas sa mga mock boards. Okay, na actually kaya nag-fail. Okay, ito yung one of the major reasons kung bakit nag-fail is wala silang military force. Okay, yan. Very weak sila. Or wala. At wala silang ano, okay? Yan. And yung letter D, effective participation of all major powers, actually, hindi. Okay? Hindi nangyari yon kasi kanya-kanya sila at that time. Okay, yan. Pero sabi ko nga, maghanap pa rin ako ng ano na, talagang ang sagot niya na i-focus mainly on European issues. And it's good. Okay. So I found one. Okay, so dito, sabi niya, weakness of the league, it's too Eurocentric. Okay, nabanggit mo kanina yung Russia. Okay, kasi nga, too Eurocentric, kasi nga, first of all, hindi nga nag-join yung US. Yan, yung Russia and Germany, they weren't allowed. Okay, hindi sila na-allow na how do you call that? Na sumama. Okay, and then yung Britain and France, they were not committed. Okay, sinulat ko po yan. Okay, kasi yan pa din yung lumalabas. Alright. Number 24, blank. Because there is a word mainly. Alright, okay. Tingnan na natin. Balikin. Focus mainly on European issues. Could be, could be. All right. So number 24, blank is a process that companies use to compare their current performance with their desired expected performance and to create an action plan for improvement as needed. A, SWOT analysis, B, PESEL analysis, C, gap analysis, and D, benchmarking and performance metrics. Dapat yan. Ba't ko sinali yung two industries best? All right. So ano ang sagot niyan? Right? Yan, so hindi tayo, mamaram, hindi tayo road to 1 or 2 a.m. Okay, ginawa na nating ano. All right, so the answer there is, yes, it is gap analysis. Okay, kasi ano ba bakit kailangan i-compare yung performance nila, okay, dun sa expected performance? Kasi ang pinaka purpose nito is ma-close yung gap. Okay, that is why it's called gap analysis. Okay, yan. Performance versus their own standards. Okay, yes. Yes, tama yan. Expected performance. Yes. Alright. Ito lumalabas din to yung SWOT. Okay? Pero yung sa SWOT, sa Prof Ed lumalabas, ano yung meaning ng SWOT? Okay? Yan ang lumalabas sa Prof Ed. Alright? Kaya isinama ko tong ano to. So, S starts for strength, W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for threats. Okay? So, ina-analyze nila yung apat na to. Okay? Bakit? Para malaman nila, okay, kung gaano sila ka-competitive. Okay, they want to learn. Kasi ito, as for business tong ang SWOT analysis started as a SWOT strategy, as a business strategy. Okay, yan. That is why nakikita niyo yung competitive position yan. All right? Okay, pero sa Prof Ed lumalabas din po to, okay, in connection to education. All right, PESEL analysis, PESEL of course. So ano naman yung PESEL? Political, economic, social, technological, legal, environment. Itong mga factors ina-analyze nila. Okay, para tingnan pa rin naman nila, okay, kung para they come up, okay, an organization or a business would come up with strategies, okay, and to learn their also market position. Okay, yan. Benchmarking and performance metrics. Ano nga ba ang benchmarking, 'di ba? Alam naman natin benchmark is yung standard, 'di ba? Yan. Pero yung benchmarking and performance metrics is it's either standard ng sariling company or standard ng ibang top performing, okay, company. Okay, yan ang tinitingnan nila, okay, para how do you call that? makakakuha sila ng idea, okay? And they can use it for improvement, right? Next, 25. Which city is known for its canals where boats are commonly used for transportations and is home to St. Mark's Cathedral? Okay, A, Paris, B, Rome, C, Venice, and D, Madrid. Okay. Alright. Okay, so sabi nung ano nung reviewer ko, 'yan. Ang ano daw niya, ang naging clue daw niya dito kasi nag second thought siya is yung Saint Mark's Cathedral. Okay, kaya isinama ko yung Saint Mark's Cathedral kasi nasa question, nasa STEM. Alright, and of course the answer there is Venice. Okay, 'yan. Okay. At saka yung canals daw, na-imagine daw niya yung canals. Alright, so ito, bonus question tayo. What are the traditional handcrafted flat-bottom Venetian rowing boats? Okay, yung mga boats. Yan, lagi lumalabas sa mga pictures, di ba yan? Designed specifically for navigating the city's narrow, shallow canals. A kayaks, B gondolas, C catamarans, and D junks. Yan. Ano ang sagot nyo dito? Alright. Okay. So what are the traditional handcrafted flat-bottom Venetian rowing boats designed specifically for navigating the city narrows, shallow canals? Hula lang po. It's okay. Okay, nahumula. Okay, A, kayaks, B, gondolas, C, catamarans, and D, junks. Alright? Okay, and the answer here is, okay, so gondolas. Okay, yan o, yan. Di ba nakita natin yan sa pictures, yan. Gondolas yung tawag. Yung sa kayaking, 'di ba? Usually sa river 'yan, yung ano, kayaks. 'Yan. Stream kayaking, extreme kayaking. Number 26, in the decades following World War II and up until the 1970s, which economic sector was the primary driver of the Philippine economy and the largest employer of the Filipino workforce? Yan. So, following World War II and up until 1970s. Okay, yan. So, tignan nyo yung date. Okay, so A, industry, B, agriculture, C, services, and D, mining and quarrying. Now I know. Thanks. Sure, you are welcome po. Alright? Oo, may BAC na tayo. Alright? Lagyan nyo po yung number, please. Yan. Sabi niya following World War II and up until the 1970s. Okay. So ano yung pwede niyo maging ang isipin niyan, 'di ba? Noong 1970s, sino ba yung si President late President Marcos, 'di ba? Yan, Masagana 99. Okay, 'di ba? Yan. And that is why ang sagot po niyan ay agriculture. Yan. So, hindi pa naman tayo nag-ano, ngayon lang yung services. Okay, yan. So, but of course, I had to find for the kung totoo ba talaga. Alright. Okay, so, may nakita ako, agriculture was the most important sector of the Philippine economy until the 1960s. Okay, yan. Alright. So, sabi niya, noong 1960s, 60% okay ng economy is galing sa agriculture. Okay, and 45% in the 1990s nagbabago na in the 1990s. Compared sa services na 25% lang in the 1960s tapos 40% in the 1980s. Yan. Okay? Yan, ang industry naman, 12% in the 1990s, mababa pa lang. Okay, so kasi itong services, nag-start na umakyat yan nung nagde-deploy na tayo ng mga OFWs. Okay, yan. Number 27. Some critics describe the leadership style of Vladimir Putin as authoritarian and highly centralized, with strong control over political opposition and media, which political ideologies often use to describe such a system. A, liberalism, B, socialism, C, fascism, and D, communism. Okay, ilagay niyo po yung number, guys. Please put the number. All right. Mga nurses and teachers. Okay, yes. May nabasa ako na ang unang napuntahan talaga ng mga OFWs was sa Middle East. Okay, yan. Alright, and of course, the answer there is fascism. Okay, laging lumalabas po to ha, pag kay Vladimir Putin, fascism. Okay, so alam na natin kung ano yung liberalism, liberate. Okay, yan. So there's democracy. Okay, yan yung mga synonyms sa liberalism. Okay, ito lumalabas, may lumabas na ano yung difference ng socialism and communism. And that is why lagi kong paulit-ulit kong ina-explain or nababanggit dati no sa mga enrollees ko sa March 2026. Okay. So may pagkakaiba po siya. Okay. Ang communism, ang pinakaano niya talaga is classless. Okay? And that is why ang nagpapatakbo sa lahat is gobyerno. Okay, yan. Tapos rinarasyon-rasyon na lang. Okay? Pero yung socialism is social ownership. Okay, lahat ng production, yung mga ganun is owned by the community. Okay? Kaya nga lang parang lumalabas na parang pumaparehas siya sa communism kasi sino nga ba ang nagre-represent sa society? Yung gobyerno. Okay, yon. Kaya minsan na ano tayo na how do you call that? Nagko-confuse tayo kung ano yung difference ng socialism and communism. Okay? But pag nakita niyo yung socialism, social ownership, okay? The yung mga production, yung mga ganun is owned by the society. Tapos yung communism naman is lahat ng ano ng production is owned by the government. Right? Yan. May nakakaalam po ba kung sino po first OFW? Ay, bago sa inyo yung fascist. Oh, lagi po lumalabas 'yan. Okay, okay, hindi ko pa naisip na i-research yung first na OFW, but that's good to ano, i-research ko soon. Okay, 'yan. Okay, so saan nga ba galing yung fascism? Okay, so gasgas po to sa ating major ship. Okay, so galing to kay Benito Mussolini. Okay, siya yung sa ano ng Italy. Okay, yan. Alright, so that is fascism. And of course, Nazism. Okay, Nazism is a radical, okay, radical form ng fascism. Okay, yan. Ang Nazism, National Socialism, Nazism. Okay, yan. May Benito, yes, it's Benito Mussolini. Okay, so lumalabas din po yan. Pero actually, may nabasa ako noon na ayaw ng Russia at the time ni Benito Mussolini, ayaw nila ng fascism at that time. All right? Number 28, which concept refers to places with cultural or natural significance so exceptional that they transcend national boundaries and are considered part of the shared heritage of all humankind. A, cultural relativism. B, global commons. C, world heritage. And D, national heritage. Okay, lagay po natin yung number. Please put the number, guys. Lagay po natin yung number. Okay, yan. All right. So very good. So the answer there is yes, World Heritage. Wala nang explanation. Okay, yan. So World Heritage po talaga yon. So currently we have 876 World Heritage, yan, in 145 countries. Okay, yan. Lumalabas pa dito sa World Heritage is ano ang hindi kasama. Okay, sa World Heritage. Pag nakita nyo yung mayon doon, okay, is hindi kasama. Okay, kasi nasa list pa lang siya. Okay, pero meron yung isang lumabas na ang nasa option is ano, ano ba yung kalimutan ko na kung ano yung sabi niya, ano yung hindi ano yung World Heritage na wala sa Pilipinas. Okay? Tapos ang nakalagay doon is ang kasama doon is Mayon. Tapos, Canyon, Great Canyon. Okay, ganyan. So, although sa list talaga is hindi kasama ang Mayon, pero nasa Pilipinas yung Mayon di ba? Ang Canyon is nasa America, okay? Kaya that is why, ang sinasabi nga natin, ang let is hindi black is black. Okay, yan. Gamitin mo pa rin yung critical thinking mo, yan. So, alam natin, okay, hindi nga kasama talaga ang Mayon doon sa natural heritage kasi nasa list pa siya. Okay, pero at least nasa Pilipinas siya, 'di ba? Mas mali naman yung Grand Canyon. Okay, 'yan. May clue kasi na of all humankind. Correct. Okay, yes, correct 'yan. All right. Very good. So, gamitin nyo lahat ng clue, okay, dun sa mismong actual, okay? Gamitin nyo lahat ng clue na andon, okay? Ganun naman talaga yan eh, kaya nga critical thinking. Alright, so during the 1960s, which nation formally proposed the creation of a World Heritage Convention to the international community, an idea that was later adopted by UNESCO in 1972? A, France ba yan? B, Egypt? C, the United States? Or Italy? Okay. May logical or abstract reasoning. Naku, lahat yan ng reasoning, okay, gagamitin mo, okay? Yan. Yan, hula ulit, it's okay. Yan. So actually, yung World Heritage na ano was not an original ano ng UNESCO. Okay, yan. Hindi siya original idea, okay? So na-create mo na yung country na to, yung World Heritage Convention, okay? Yan. Okay, and the answer here is, ano, ayaw niyong humula, ayaw nung ibang humula. All right. All right, so hula lang, it's fine. Okay, yan. So of course, the answer there is United States. Okay, yan. All right. Ang idea nito ay galing kay President Richard Nixon. Okay. Number 29. Okay, akalain nyo may namali pa dito. Okay, doon nakikita ko sa ano. Siguro mga hindi sila nag-review man. Alright. So the use of latitude and longitude coordinates to identify the exact location of a place on Earth is an example of what type of location? A, absolute location. B, relative location. D, C, directional location. And D, cultural location. Okay, yan. Right? So the use of latitude and longitude coordinates to identify the exact location of a place on Earth is an example of what type of location? A, absolute location. B, relative location. C, directional location. And D, cultural location. Okay, so pag nakita mo na yung latitude, nakita mo na yung longitude, ibig sabihin napaka-exact. Okay, eksakto na location na yon. And exact is synonymous to, of course, absolute location. All right, yan. So ito naman yung main types eh. It's either absolute or relative. Okay, yan. But itong directional location hindi siya ano, it is not how do you call that? Hindi siya term, okay, na nakikita natin yun. Pero itong cultural location, nakita ko to, okay, na nabasa ko. This cultural location is really an existing word, okay? Ang ibig sabihin niyan ay a contiguous geographic area comprising a number of societies that possess the same or similar traits or similar culture. Okay, yan. So, contiguous, ibig sabihin dikit-dikit na geographic area. Okay, so ano yung example niya? Southeast Asia, yan. Arab world, Latin America, okay, they share the same culture, okay? For example, sa Southeast Asia, most of us are ano yung mga culture natin? Southeast Asia. Yan. Hindi naman Catholicism. Okay, bigla akong hindi ako makaisip ng common. Okay, sa Southeast Asia. Food, siguro, yung mga food. Okay. Arab world, pwedeng sa Islam, yung mga ganon. Okay, so they share the same cultural orientation. Okay? Exact means absolute. Correct kayo dyan. Alright, so of course, laging lumalabas po talaga to absolute location and relative location, okay? Yan. So, definitely, ang pagkakaiba lang talaga is pag absolute exact. Tapos relative, pag nakita nyo yung word na relative, kasi laging lumalabasan kahit sa Prof. Ed, okay? Relative blah blah, relative blah blah. Pag nakita nyo yung relative, it means in comparison sa iba. Okay, yan. That is relative. Kaya yung relative location is location na comparison sa iba. Okay, so pwedeng anong iba? For example, landmark or countries or any place. Okay, so for example, sabi mo sa malapit sa 7-Eleven, that is relative location, 'di ba? Yan, or south of Baguio, okay? Northwest of the Philippines, yung mga ganon. Okay, that is relative location. Okay, yan. Number 30, which city is home to the Eiffel Tower, one of the most famous landmarks in the world? A, London. B, Rome. C, Paris. And D, Berlin. Okay, absolute may coordinates. Tama, di ba? Yan. So, number 30, pero I'm not, ano naman yung mga nagkakamali. Kasi iba din talaga pag sa exam, okay? Minsan parang, alam niyo yung, sa pressure na rin, yung alam na alam mo yung sagot, pero biglang magda-doubt ka. Ganon. So, which city is home to the Eiffel Tower, one of the most famous landmarks in the world? A, London, B, Rome, C, Paris, and D, Berlin. Of course, and yes, lumabas pa to, no? Kalain nyo. So, the answer there is Paris. Okay. Alam niyo, pinag-grabe ko to. Ang tanong ko doon is, what, what country? Okay. So, of course, the answer here is, yan, Paris. Okay, yan. So, be careful, okay? Kasi marami talagang nangyayari na magkakataon na parang familiarity of the question ba. So, nakita mo dyan Eiffel Tower and then yung lumabas nga nung halimbawa alam mo na March 2026 lumabas na Paris yung sagot, okay? Pero malay nyo nakalagay pala dyan is which country, di ba yan? So, halimbawa may France dyan. Ganyan. So, pero ang sagot mo, Paris pa din. Okay? So, you have to be careful and you read the question thoroughly. Okay, so ito ang aming laro. Alright? So, what is this? Yan. So, linaro namin to kahapon. So, ano to? Alright? This is a famous landmark in London, of course. And the answer there is Big Ben. Okay, so when we say Big Ben, we are actually talking about the clock, okay? Not the tower itself. All right, the tower is called Elizabeth Tower, okay? Yan. All right, ito naman, yan. So of course, this is very popular. Ito naman ay nakita sa Rome, yan. As Rome is one of the options kanina. And this is the Colosseum. Okay, yan. In Rome. Okay, ang lumalabas pala na question dito is na sa ating social science majorship Macboard is ano yung silbi, okay? Or bakit na-build yung Colosseum? Okay, and yung sagot nun is kung saan nagkakaroon nung gladiator contest. Yan. And that is why I included it here, okay? Used for gladiator contest. Pero pwede ding animal hunts, executions, and moxie battles, okay? Kasi yung arena pwede siyang malagyan ng water. Right. Next. Ito naman, yeah, so kanina, ang options doon is London. So tapos na natin yon yung Big Ben. Rome, yung Colosseum. Okay, and of course, ito naman ay sa Berlin. Okay, and this is called the Brandenburg Gate. Okay, yeah. Number 31. Since the start of the current administration, various groups have organized protests and rallies across the country. Based on recent news report, which of the following is identified as the primary issue driving these mass actions? A. Alleged corruption. B. Rising prices of basic goods and inflation. And C. Concerns over proposed charter changed. And D, human rights violation and red tagging. Okay, so ulitin ko, since the start of the current administration, various groups have organized protests and rallies across the country. Based on recent news report, which of the following is identified as the primary issue driving this mass actions? Okay, so A, alleged corruption. B, rising prices of basic goods and inflation. C, concerns over proposed charter change or the cha-cha, and the human rights violations and red tagging. All right? And of course, the answer here is yes, of course, alleged corruption, diba? Yung 545 billion flood control funds. Okay, yan. So ito, thousands in the Philippine protests against corruption demand return of stolen funds. Yan, ngayong 2025 up until now. Number 32. Based on the latest economic data from the Philippine Statistic Authority, or PSA, which sector is currently the largest contributor to the Philippine economy in terms of both gross domestic product and employment? A, agriculture, fishery, and forestry. B, services. C, industry or manufacturing. And D, mining and quarrying. Okay, so napansin nyo, yung isang question was sa World War from 1945 to 1970s. Okay, ang sagot natin dun ay agriculture. Okay, so agriculture naman talaga yon. Alright, how about now? Okay, yan. How about now? And of course, ang sagot po natin dyan ay services. Yes, alright. So services. So, in fact, nakita ko to from PSA. The PSA listed the following sectors with the highest contribution in the employment share in June 2025. So, services sector, agriculture, and then industry. Okay, so I also checked nung 2024, it's the same. Okay, nagbago lang ng konti yung percentage. Okay, but still services, agriculture, and industry. SAI. Okay, yan. Number 33, if the government wants to reduce corruption, which reform should it prioritize? A, electing celebrities to public office. B, strengthening character building and values formation. C, promoting family political dynasties. Or D, implementing electoral reforms. So again, number 33, if the government wants to reduce corruption, which reform should it prioritize? A, electing celebrities to public office. B, strengthening character building and values formation, Haima. C, promoting family political dynasties. And D, implementing electoral reforms. Alright? And of course, ang ating sagot niyan ay implementing electoral reforms. And then kagabi, one of our reviewees asked, ano po ba yung meaning ng electoral reforms? And of course, tama naman po yun. Okay? So, kahit sinabi natin dyan na ang sagot ay implementing electoral reforms, we have to know talaga, okay, kung ano yung electoral reforms. Okay, in any way, ang pwedeng pagpilian talaga dito is B and D. Okay, di ba? Pero to kasing strengthening character building and values formation. More on education, although nangingialam ang government sa education, di ba? More on education, tsaka this is very long term, okay, na ma-achieve. Okay, and this is, and also, it may not reflect talaga, okay, kung nangyayari or na-achieve pag sabi natin character building and values formation. Unlike sa electoral reforms, di ba, na it could be transparent and measurable as well. All right. So, ito, yan. So, para maintindihan natin ano nga ba ang electoral reform. So, here, electoral reforms refers to changes in electoral system. Yan, pagpapalit sa electoral system. Okay, that alter how public desires expressed through votes produce election results. Which of the following is not an example of electoral reform? A, adding paper trails to electronic voting. B, introducing anti-vote buying laws. C, establishing an independent redistricting commission to prevent gerrymandering. And D, donating new computers to public schools. Yan. So basically, sabi niya, electoral reform is mapapalitan, okay, or pagpapalit ng mga electoral system, okay, when it comes to voting. Okay, yan. And of course, kahapon ang sagot ng ng mga reviews natin ay letter D daw kasi kakaiba. Okay? And of course, the answer there is letter D in fact. So donating new computers to public school because public schools kasi wala namang kinalaman sa election 'yan. Okay? But let's see. All right, so adding paper trails to electronic voting, maganda nga naman kasi halimbawa nag-vote ka ng kasi nga 'di ba, maraming nagsasabi na napapalitan daw talaga yung vino-vote mo. Okay? But for example, pag nag-add ka ng paper trails to electronic voting, halimbawa nag-input ka, okay, kasi computerized, nag-input ka, lalabas kung tama talaga yung pumasok. Okay, lalabas, ito yung binote mo, ganyan. So you can check. Alright, ito, introducing anti-vote buying laws. Tama naman yon. Okay, so for example, pwedeng maglagay ng punishment, okay, sa mga napatunayan na nag-vote buying. Alright, itong gerrymandering, yung lumalabas din to. Okay, so yung gerrymandering, ito yung pagpapalit ng ng boundaries, okay? Pagpapalit ng boundaries, not physical boundaries, okay? Pero parang how do you call that? Imaginary line, okay? So for example, yung example ko nga kahapon, ang isang mayor, okay, na tumakbo, okay? And then halimbawa sa barangay A, between barangay A and barangay B, okay, mas marami siyang a supporter sa barangay B. So, ang gagawin niya is, pwede niyang sabihin na ang barangay A naman is hindi talaga kasama sa aming town. Parang ganon. Okay, so, pwede siyang i-accept yung ang barangay na yon kasi alam niya na talo siya. Okay, so it really could happen. Okay, so, and it is called gerrymandering. Okay, this is itong gerrymandering is from isang nakalimutan ko lang kasi, okay, pero ginawa to, okay, ng isang senator ata yun or governor sa US. Okay, yan. Kaya naipangalan sa kanya. All right. Number 34, as a social science teacher, you are preparing a lesson on contemporary geopolitical issues. A student asked, why has the United States maintained a strategic interest in Greenland for decades? And why has this interest intensified recently? Which of the following best explains the primary reason for U.S. engagement with Greenland? Ibatihan ako ma. A presence of strategic military base for missile defense and space surveillance. B, access to Greenland's vast rare earth mineral deposits. C, control over emerging Arctic shipping routes due to our routes. Parehas lang yun, due to climate change. And D, tourism potential and scientific research stations. Okay, yan. And of course, yes, pag nakita nyo yung military base yun na yun, okay? So nagtayo kasi ang US ng military base sa Greenland. Okay? So ang Greenland is located sa Kingdom of Denmark, okay? And noon ang US and Kingdom of Denmark had an agreement, okay, to protect each other, and that is why nagtayo ang US ng military base, okay, and ang military base na to, ito is sa Birufik, ang pangalan niya ay B daw ang pag-pronounce nito, okay, so Bitufik Space Base, okay, formerly known as Thule Air Base, okay, yan. Napaka-strategic daw talaga yung pinaglagyan ng space base na to, right? Number 35, a local government unit or LGU is experiencing severe flooding and soil erosion during the rainy season. Which of the following long-term solutions would be most effective in addressing both problems at their source? A, protect and rehabilitate forests in watershed areas. B, construct higher concrete walls along riverbanks. C, deepen and dredge rivers and canals regularly. And D, establish more evacuation centers in flood-prone area. Okay, so ulitin natin, a local government unit is experiencing severe flooding and soil erosion during the rainy season. Which of the following long-term solutions would be most effective in addressing both problems at their source? A, protect and rehabilitate forests in watershed areas. B, construct higher concrete walls along riverbanks. C, deepen and dredge rivers and canals regularly. And D, establish more evacuation centers in flood-prone areas. Okay, yes. And of course, yan, lahat naman ay pwede talagang gawin yon, but we are talking about most effective, all right? And of course, the answer is protect and rehabilitate forests in watershed areas. Kasi, basically, ang reason talaga ng soil erosion, 'di ba, is deforestation. Yan. So, anong gagawin natin? Eh di mag-forestation. Okay, we have to go to the basic, okay, and plant trees. Okay, yan. Itong B, C, and D also more on ano din siya, more on after the fact na, 'di ba? Yan. Nalala ko tuloy yung ano yung meeting, okay, about dredging, okay, yung pinipilit ng isang official, okay, na no, no, we keep on dredging. Eh, okay lang naman sana yun kung hindi milyon-milyon, okay, ang babayaran or magagastos dito. Eh, hindi pa naman to, it's not even long term. Okay, yan. Kaya there was an argument at that time, okay, or maybe like how do you call that? There was a discussion or debate yan with the president. Okay, number 36, which law prohibits smoking in public buildings, enclosed public places, and public transportation, and is implemented by local government units in the Philippines. Okay, A, Dangerous Drug Acts of 2002, B, Consumer Act of the Philippines, C, Clean Air Act of 1999, and D, Sanitation Code of the Philippines. Yan. So may sumagot dito kagabi ng A, Dangerous Drug Act of 2002. Pero kasi ang cigarette kasi hindi siya considered na dangerous drug. Okay, yan. All right. So of course the answer there is Clean Air Act of 1999. Kung wala yung Clean Air Act of 1999, it's RA 8749. Okay, yan. Yan. So, meron din tayo yung RA 921 or the Tobacco Regulation Act of 2003, okay? So, it also prohibit smoking in certain public places. Kaya lang, kasama yung pag hindi pagbebenta ng cigarettes, okay? And other tobacco products sa mga minors, okay? Or places na may mga minors doon like schools, yung mga ganon. All right. But sa RA 8749 very general na just prohibit smoking sa public places. Yan. Number 37, in March 2026, the United States ordered 2,500 Marines and an amphibious assault ship to the Middle East amid an escalating conflict. What was the stated purpose of this deployment? A, to evacuate American citizens from Israel. B, to help secure the Strait of Hormuz and protect shipping lanes. C, to establish a permanent U.S. military base in Saudi Arabia. And D, to conduct ground operations targeting Iranian nuclear facilities. Okay, so ulitin natin. In March 2026, the U.S. or the United States ordered 2,500 Marines and an amphibious assault ship to the Middle East amid an escalating conflict. What was the stated purpose of this deployment? A, to evacuate American citizens from Israel. B, to help secure the Strait of Hormuz and protect shipping lanes. C, to establish a permanent U.S. military base in Saudi Arabia. And D, to conduct ground operations targeting Iranian nuclear facilities. And of course, the answer here is to help secure the Strait of Hormuz and protect shipping lanes. Okay? So, kung mahilig kayong magbasa sa mga news sa mga news ngayon, 'di ba? Ang Strait of Hormuz is it's a very important sea lane kasi doon dumadaan yung mga especially sa oil. Okay, yan. Kaya nga tayo na may scarcity of oil ngayon. Okay, mabanggit ko lang ha. Okay, kasi meron kasi akong one time nag-uusap-usap lang kayo ng mga friends, and then akala niya ang Middle East is not part of Asia. Okay, so malay natin biglang lalabas. Okay, but actually Middle East is part of Asia. It's West Asia. Yan. Number 38, throughout history, the title Tsar was used by monarchs to signify their role as supreme rulers, similar to an emperor. See, Ivan the Fourth, okay, or Ivan the Terrible, was the first ruler to be formally crowned with this title in 1547. Which country were these czars the sovereign rulers of? A, France, B, Russia, C, Germany, and D, England. Okay, yan. So actually, ang tanong lang dyan is anong country ang gumagamit nung term na czar, okay, for the rulers. Okay, but linagyan ko na lang ng ganyan kasi it can really happen na halimbawa ngayon, okay, o nung March 2026 ang lumabas is anong country, okay, ganyan. And pwede na sa susunod na tanong is mag-forward sila, okay? Pwede, it could be na sabihin nila, sino yung first emperor sa Russia na natawag na Tsar, okay? And of course, that is Ivan the Terrible. Hindi siya it could, okay? It happened, okay? So, for example, sa amin yung June 2025, ang tanong was, sino yung sumulat nung 95 theses, okay? So, of course, yun lang, napakasimple yung tanong. Of course, the answer there is Martin Luther King, okay? Pero nung September 2025, ang tanong was, nung sinulat ni Martin Luther King, yung 95 theses, ano yung hindi niya sadyang, mangyari? Okay, ganon. Alright, so, na-discuss natin yun sa previous videos, alright? And of course, the answer there is Russia. Okay, ganyan. So, ito pa ha, example ko lang. Nung sa huling bulong namin, okay, sinama ko yung Tsarina of Fruits. Okay, ano yung Tsarina of Fruits sa Pilipinas? Ang sagot niyan ay mango, okay? And then nabanggit ko, ang Tsarina is yun yung asawa ng Tsar, Tsar is ruler ng Russia. Okay, so you see, pwede mo talagang pagtagpi-tagpiin. Okay, so hindi man lumabas yung Tsarina of fruits, okay? Pero at least nabanggit natin ano yung Tsarina, blah, blah, blah. So pwede mong i-apply sa other okay? That is why it's very important for you to really watch videos or read or mag-drills ka kasi marami kang matututunan na pwede mong i-apply kahit hindi yun yung mismong tanong. Alright? Alright, so let's test your stock knowledge. So the term Tsar is derived from which Old Latin word? Okay, read by Anna Caesar and Blue Imperator. And in fairness, lahat ng kahapon ay tama ang sagot nila. Right, so the term Tsar is derived from which Old Latin word? Caesar ba yan or Imperator? And the answer there is yes, Caesar. Okay, yeah, which means emperor. Okay, and ang Imperator naman means military commander. Number 39, which is The most appropriate action that the government can promote to address marital problems such as drug addiction and alcoholism while helping preserve the family. A, legal separation. B, annulment. C, divorce. And D, counseling. Number 39, which is the most appropriate action that the government can promote to address marital problems such as drug addiction and alcoholism while helping preserve the family. A, legal separation ba yan? Legal separation. B, annulment. C, divorce. And D, counseling. Right? And of course, the answer there is counseling. Yan. So first of all, preserve the family, okay? Kasi so, alisin na natin yan, A, B, C, wala na agad yan. Okay, and of course, ang iba-iba kasi yung sinasabi ng mga nag-take nun, pero sinasabi nila na may nakalagay daw doon na ano yung initial, okay, na move ng government, okay, yun nga, na pag na magkaroon ng marital problems, may nakalagay daw doon na drug addiction, alcoholism, LGBT, something ganon-ganon, okay? And of course, the answer there is counseling. All right. So masabi ko lang, okay? So ang divorce bill, yan. So ang unang ano sa divorce bill is yung House bill. Pag nakita niyo yung House bill, ibig sabihin ang trying to pass nito is yung House of Representatives, okay? So House Bill number 9349, known as the absolute divorce, okay? This was proposed by Edsel C. Lagman, okay? And iba yung kay Senator Raffy Tulfo, okay? So magkaiba yung philosophy nila, but just a little bit, okay? So kay Raffy Tulfo naman is Senate Bill number 2443. Okay, so tingnan naman natin to. In the Philippines, which legal remedy allows a couple to live apart and separate their property and is granted on grounds such as repeated physical violence, drug addiction, infidelity, or abandonment? Okay, so is it red na annulment ba yan or blue, legal separation? Okay, yan. And of course, ang sagot niyan ay legal separation. Okay, so let's see kung ano yung difference niya. Alright. So yan. So pag annulment kasi, declares a marriage null and void. Ibig sabihin nung unang-una pa lang, okay, is hindi na siya legal. Okay, for many grounds. Okay, yan. So parang hindi ka ikinasal. Okay, kasi nga may mga grounds. Okay, sabihin ko maya. Alright. But ito namang legal separation naman is uh, yung marriage andun pa rin, okay, yung record, you are still married but you are allowed to live separately, okay, and then you can also how do you call that, you can also divide your assets, yung mga ganon. Alright, ito ang yung grounds nung annulment is ito yung mga na existing na yung mga to prior prior na mangyari yung marriage. Okay, so for example, lack of parental consent, 'di ba? So existing na to before pa na ikinasal. Fraud, okay? For example, ang pinaka-popular nito is sa news is yung halimbawa, member ka pala ng LGBTQ tapos hindi mo sinabi sa asawa mo, ganyan. And then nalaman na lang niya. So it could be a ground, okay, for nullifying the marriage, okay? Psychological incapacity, gasgas na gasgas, and then impotence. All right. Okay, so ito namang sa legal separation naman, ito yung mga factors na during the marriage, okay, is or after or during the marriage is lumabas. Okay, so for example, biglang nananakit na siya, yan. Drug addiction, infidelity, or abandonment. Okay? And the last one, sociologists study various groups within society. One particular type of group develops values, norms, and customs that are not only different from, but also actively oppose and challenge the dominant culture. What do sociologists call this type of group? A, subculture. B, counterculture. C, high culture. And D, dominant culture. Okay, yan. So, andyan na. Okay, andito na. Maghanap kayo ng mga clues. Okay? Alright? So, ang sagot niyan ay counterculture. Kasi sabi niya, tingnan niyo, that are not only different, hindi lang kaiba yung culture na gusto na meron sila, but also actively oppose. Okay, kinokontra nila yung dominant culture, and that is why it's counterculture. Okay, so for example, tingnan nyo pa lang sa para maintindihan natin yung uh, LGBT liberation movement. Okay, so ano ba yung dominant culture ngayon, 'di ba? Ang dominant culture is dalawa lang, okay? Ang ano, ang male or female lang, ganun, 'di ba? Pero ang ano ng LGBTQ is we also exist. Okay, yun yung sinasabi nila. Yan. So, LGBTQ+, LGBT, mga ganon. Okay, so we also exist. Yun yung sinasabi niya. Feminist movement. Okay, itong feminist movement. Ano ba yung dominant culture ngayon? Okay, sinasabi ko lang na na parang more on patriarchal tayo, okay, yan. So, of course, kine-question ng feminist movement yan. Alright, so, sino yung mga proponents? There are two, okay? So, yung kasing counterculture, galing yan sa term na contra-culture, okay? So, pagdating sa idea, okay, ng counterculture, ang proponent niyan ay si John Milton Yinger. Yan. Pero kung sino yung nag-popularize at ginamit na niya yung word na counterculture, okay, it would be Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, and of course, so kailangan nating malaman ano ba yung mga iba. Okay, so subculture. Okay, so culture tapos may subdivisions. Okay, yan yung meaning ng subculture. Okay, so a group with its own distinct values and customs, okay, that differ from the mainstream, okay, mainstream culture. Okay, pero hindi niya ino-oppose, wala siyang ino-oppose, okay, meron na lang silang sariling values, okay. So, ano example niya? Skateboarders, yan, hip-hop fans, K-pop fans, okay, mga yan. High culture, high, mataas, okay, so high, this is this is associated with the elite. Okay, upper class or refined taste. Okay, yan. So, opera, oo nga naman. Bakit ang opera? Para pag sinabi, bakit nga naman, di ba? Parang ang mahihilig sa opera mga mayayaman, okay? That's our notion, ha? Yan. Hindi ko sinasabi na, na pag mahirap ka, hindi ka pwedeng mag-ano sa mga opera, okay? Gourmet cuisine, fine art paintings, ballet, okay, mga yan. Alright. And of course, alam na natin yung dominant culture, okay? Inferior, okay? And dominant, okay? Yan. Or weaker at saka stronger. Yan yung meaning lang ng dominant culture, okay? It's